Welcome back. I just want to take a few minutes and run through another Geek Thru, basically where we'll look at the commands and redstone that was used for Vacation Bible School 2021 that we did for Bethel Church. And I hope you find these interesting. So this is day 4. Let's see here. Day 4, yes. Day 4 we started in Jonah's boat. And the commands here, this was really interesting. This was a lot of fun. The main part that took us the most amount of work was actually the waves that we'll look at here in a second. But we actually had this control room down here that operated a lot of this stuff. So there's a lot of commands here that we need to look at. But this basically is what made the waves happen and all that kind of stuff. So first off, we'll look at the real simple ones. This one, when you press it, we just had some anvils appear 20 blocks above the nearest player. And when you do that, they instantly fall and fall on whoever's standing below them. A simple trap. This one, same thing, just sand. And it was a 3 by 3 by 3. So yes, I guess 9 or so blocks, maybe a little bit more, 12 blocks probably. And the sand, again, when it falls, it just falls on top of your head. And then for this one, when you click it, this is what made the waves happen. And so the way it works, let me show you down below first. What we did is we actually have these minecart rails underwater. And I believe it's a new thing for 1.17 in that Minecraft rails could actually work underwater. So for each of these, we have a moving minecart and then another cart that represents the clear. So we have the wave and the clear. And what it did is whenever it would constantly be looking for these wave carts, and whenever it find it, it would create water above it. And then whenever these clear carts came around, it would detect for water and it would clear it. So again, it kind of made for these rolling waves. Now the crazy part about it is we kept running into problems where this stuff would get, whenever the chunks would get unloaded, they would sometimes disappear, or they would get all messed up, or they'd be right back to back and make it all look crazy. So we actually had Lag, who was a part of this thing, and she was down here making sure that this all worked properly. And so while we were doing stuff up there with Jonah, she was down here making sure that this was good. So I'm glad she worked and did all that for me. And so the way it works is, let's look through these real quick. We turned it to thunder for a duration. And then we set it to night. And then we did that so Jonah would go to sleep. Whenever it's daytime, Jonah would be up, but we turned it night so Jonah would go to sleep down below. And then we filled in some redstone. So if you look down here, we'll see which one started. So if I push the button, so it was this redstone right there, that one got filled. And that would power this command block. And this one simply says, I'll show you the whole thing, that find those wave carts and 20 blocks above it, fill it with flowing water. And then this one would be doing the same thing, but it'd be looking for the clear blocks. And 20 blocks above it basically find the flowing water and replace it with air. And I believe I had to do the same thing for regular water, because sometimes it would turn into regular water. So we were detecting both flowing water and regular water. And so this is what it looks like from an aerial view, which we never did look at in the day. But basically you can see that as the mine carts would go around, some would be constantly clearing it and some would be constantly filling it. And that's how we could have them at different levels, different paces, and it made it look like the waves were crashing on while we were inside. And that was actually my wife's idea. She said, well, why don't you put them diagonal going across underneath? Because initially we had it going around the boat. and didn't look as cool, but having it crash over like this, that was good. That was a lot of fun. So then from here, we actually have a couple other buttons down below. I'll show you those, assuming I can get down there. Yeah, I'm gonna light this up a little bit. So we had Jonah sleeping, and we have a couple buttons over here. The first one was wake up, and all it did was turn it daytime. That way he would get out of bed. I can show you that button. This one right here, just a simple, hey, turn it daytime. And then this one, this was interesting. This one would set a redstone block, and I'll show you. Let me go ahead and push it, and I'll show you where that one is. Again, that was in our control room, which is actually back this way. So inside of here, it would set this redstone block. And this one basically says, hey, wherever Crazy Minion is, make sure Jonah, we named that villager Jonah, is 1 block away to the side. And so that's what allowed for Jonah to be right next to him. And then the other button upstairs that we'll look at in a second, it would turn this one off, so Jonah would no longer be next to him, and it would turn this one on, so it would put the redstone block right there. And basically it would say, hey, wherever Jonah is, make sure he's 10 blocks away from wherever Crazy Minion 54 is looking. So all he had to do out here, when he got to the plank, all he had to do out here was look in this direction, and Jonah would be 10 blocks out, just kind of hovering out here. So then we had it so that as soon as that ended, then the Jonah would fall into the water, and then it would remove that one redstone block right there and put stone there in its place, and that ends the waves. And then we would have them all. We can look at them real quick. So it set that block to stone, end the waves. It would set this one to stone so it doesn't keep redoing its thing. It would clear the weather. It would stop something else. I forgot what at the point. And then it would teleport Jonah into the boat. So those are all the different commands that we had here. I'm sorry. It would teleport Jonah into the whale down here. And inside the well, we only had the one redstone, which was basically to just start the music again. And this again was a real simple design where you have the hopper here and the jukebox down there, and inside the hopper you have the disc, and because the lever is on, it would lock the hopper. As soon as you undo the lever, it falls in and the music can start. Again, a real simple design for that. All right, so then going deeper, we had the interactions with lag. That was fun. All the different redstone we did over there, that was a lot of fun to do. And in here, we have a real simple, well, let's look at lag's interactions. These were just real simple command blocks, and basically we did them in pairs. So the first one, what this did is we wanted the kids to be able to read the titles. So this just made the titles last longer. That's all this did. This is like fade in 1 second, last for 10 seconds, fade out 1 second. That's basically what that means. And then we would, again, have the different titles. Again, you could use these color codes to get them to be different colors. And they're basically all the same. Just making sure that the titles were visible. And what we did over here, this was fun. This is a typical trap door over here. Ooh, you get to see back here where nobody else did. The camera never did come back here. This lever, again, is what we did to start the transformation from lag to glad. This would start that music. And back in here is where we had the redstone to, basically I wanted the door to open longer. And that's what all this does back here. So what this does, this is like what they call a pulse extender. So when you click the button, the redstone would come up here and it would go around in this loop with these comparators, and that's what would turn this off, and that's what would then open the doors over there. And it would stay open longer because of these comparators and this loop that we had over here. If you want to see like how this works, you can just pause and just kind of look at how all of that is organized. I'm sure this can be done a lot more compact than the way we did it, but it was fun just doing it this way. And so we had the sticky pistons to, once you push the button, they would retract, revealing the door, and then that way they can go through. Let's see here. And then on the other side, back over here, is where we had our same thing, just simple interactions with glad and lag. We had, oh, I just broke the teleportation. Hello, don't do that. That's what teleports us back. But these, just doing the subtitles of all the different interactions we had with glad and the titles. So that was basically it back here. Yeah. So tons of redstone to make the boat work and all that. But for the most part, everything else is basically straightforward. Just good interactions for... Oh, and this doesn't work as long as it is a non-solid block. All the quirks of Minecraft. It's got to be a regular button. There we go. So thanks for joining us today. We did have just the simple teleportation thing in day 5. I'm not going to go over. There was nothing special in there in the build back there. But thank you again for joining us, and see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.